This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's get right into the news. Okay, so Damon Dash went on a podcast, stirred things up the other day. Yesterday he went on No Jumper with Adam22 and commented on the Jay-Z thing and basically said everybody who knows that Jay-Z ain't ish, you know. And also, this all revolves around the NFL thing with Jay-Z. Also, Funk Flex, when he put out that thing where he said, oh, Jermaine Dupri, just got off the phone with him. He confirmed that Jay-Z told him not to do the NFL deal last year, and then he did it anyways, blah, blah, blah. You know, obviously, we got to keep in perspective that Funk Flex works at Hut 97. Is close with Nessa, who is Kaepernick's boyfriend, right? So that's the narrative they're pushing, that Jay-Z didn't call Kaepernick and okay everything with him and everything. And also, Dame Dash commented on that and said, you know, Jay-Z's the type of guy who will be somewhere with you. You ask him, what do you think about that girl? He's like, I wouldn't do it. And then he'll wife her up the next day. As I said in most of my past videos, Jay-Z, when it comes to business, is a savage. Okay? It's just facts. You know, he said Jay-Z ain't ish, and he went on about that, and went on, you know, and this, he's had a consistent message for the past 15 years, ever since Rockefeller got sold to Island Music Group, whatever it's called, Island Def Jam. Not just Def Jam, it was like the Island Music Group. Anyways, what's funny about that deal, so like they sold, in 1997, they sold half of their company for $1.5 million to Def Jam, and they were partners, 50-50 partners. Then, years later, you know, see, what really happened is Dame Dash and Jay-Z just weren't getting along anymore in the early 2000s. It really got bad when, you know, because Jay-Z always wanted Aaliyah. Dame Dash dated Aaliyah. That's where everything kind of went wrong. And also, he said everything kind of went wrong during the R. Kelly and Jay-Z album. You know, the Best of Both Worlds album. That's when they kind of like fell apart. So, you know, they re-upped their deal for $20 million. Him, Biggs, and Jay-Z around 2004. But then they ended up, Jay-Z was going to leave, and they didn't really know that. What happened was, it was a kind of a swift move, and he blames Lear Cohen for this. Basically, Jay-Z, in the same sitting of selling Rockefeller, I think it says they sold it for $10 million. I thought they sold it for $10 million each. There's conflicting reports on that, not exact numbers, but, you know, might have been $10 million. I mean, I couldn't see it for being less than $10 million each. You think about one album going platinum generates about $70 million, right? So it doesn't make sense selling your roster and everything for $30 million, or even $10 million. And then, but that's what was disclosed on everything. But, you know, the only people that really know is Dame Dash, Biggs, Jay-Z, and their lawyers, and Island Def Jam Music Group. But anyways, you know, that's still a swift move. Jay-Z, Dame Dash, Biggs, selling their company for so cheap, and then Jay-Z turned it around and gets all his masters because now he's the president of Def Jam. In the same week, he sold his shares in Rockefeller. Everybody had to Island Def Jam Music Group. Then Jay-Z's the president of Def Jam. So he essentially owns all of his masters. The only master I think Dame Dash retained was the original Reasonable Doubt album, which I think Jay-Z still owns part of that, you know, but Dame Dash owns part of that, and they have to like okay things from that album. Anyways, then also, remember Rockaware? Jay-Z had Biggs and, well, it was really Dame Dash and Jay-Z with that company. And Dame Dash sold his portion for $22 million. I guess Jay-Z bought it, or it was in a weird deal where he thought Jay-Z was selling it too. And then Jay-Z retained it, then sold it to Akademiks Brands Group later, like a year later, for $204 million. So essentially, and not really doing much more to it, just taking it and selling it for way more. I mean, that's like savage, bro. Like, because the way Dame Dash always breaks down how he does business is if he's partners with somebody, it's equal. You don't underhandedly undersell the other person. And it seems like Jay-Z undersold Dame Dash, basically not telling him, oh, I got this other deal on the table. I'm gonna buy him out for this much money. And obviously they weren't getting along, so doing business with somebody you don't get along with isn't fun. Dame Dash always talks about that. But what a shiesty. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, Jay-Z was built for business. That's all I could say. Dame Dash does business, but he does it with emotion. I don't think Jay-Z does business with emotion at all. And actually, I'd be scared to be signed to him. To be honest with you, because I don't know how much he takes care of everybody. I mean, just seeing how he moved in the past is a little crazy. And when they sold Rockefeller Records, Kanye and everybody went over to Def Jam. Anyways, I don't know, so getting back to the NFL thing, he talked about that. He said, I'm not going to talk about his deal. All I know is that Jay-Z is in business for Jay-Z. Then we got Funk Flex response. So when the whole thing happened with Funk Flex trying to expose that, Jay-Z talked to Jermaine Dupri and told him not to do any deal with the NFL the year before. Now he's doing a deal with the NFL. And, Jay-Z didn't okay things with Kaepernick. Now, Jermaine Dupri went on Tigger show and said, that's not true. Jay-Z never called me and talked about that. He called me and talked about all the backlash I was getting, but he didn't tell me don't do the deal. So Funk Flex putting that out there was a lie, right? So Funk Flex responds and he says, ha ha ha, I love you, Jermaine, for life. NFL/Rock Nation applying that pressure for you to backpedal. Body language is everything. It's Wednesday, bruh. This happened Monday. I finally understand what Cap and Nessa been experiencing. See, it just goes back to his motives and what's driving him. Everybody has their ties. Who knows what's happening there? Then we got, Young Thug put out a, good interview with Big Boy TV. I recommend you checking out Young Thug's interview, Big Boy TV. It's pretty good. So on there, he's obviously asked about Lil Wayne. And he's like, I don't think he likes me because, he's used to getting his own way all the time from Birdman. And, the second he doesn't get his own way, and then, I know he looks at my interviews and stuff and says, like, damn, I wish I could work with him, but I went too far. Well, I think it has something to do with his bus being blammed up in Atlanta and you being linked to it. And also naming your album Barter 6. I mean, Young Thug seems a lot more mature now, but, back then, 2014-ish, 13, 14-ish, I think that's when that was going on, the Barter 6 and everything. It's just, he was more immature then, and he was more hot-headed. And I don't think they'll ever be cool because of the bus thing. Even though he's not the one who did it, it was someone linked to Young Thug, it's a lot. So, and he did that, I think, out of his loyalty for Birdman. I don't know, just doing, acting. The other guy who did it, not Young Thug. I'm talking about the other guy, I forget his name. Anyways, then we got, lastly, Takash. He's scared. The court dates are coming up. He's gonna have to testify. And he is scared for his life and his family's life, understandably. But, you know, it's like, dude, that's what comes with the choices you made. You know, it is what it is. It's not respectable, but, you know, everybody's bending and folding in that camp anyways. So it is what it is. It's Jordan Tower, JT News. I appreciate you guys, and I'll check you guys in the next video. I hope you guys are having a positive Thursday. I can't believe it's Thursday already, but finish up the week strong. Peace.